Hey friends. Hey, hi everybody. Alright, hope we got a couple live viewers coming on here. Oh, there's one. Sorry for a little delay here. Hey, what's up? Alright, we got some peeps jumping on. Hi everybody. Sorry for the delay. Actually, I had a couple delays. Yeah, I totally we originally was going to do this at 1:30 and that didn't happen. I made a little mistake right there. And then I got a little delayed here today for a wide variety of reasons. So, but anyway, thanks everybody for joining. Welcome all the live viewers. Yes, please do. All right, so welcome everybody. Okay, thanks. We'll do. It's mood lighting. Alright, here, wipe the camera so I can come in nice and crystal clear and pretty. Okay, how's that? Is connection okay? With connection okay? I had a little problem there. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining. My name is Quinn Takei. I'm a doctor of Oriental Medicine, licensed acupuncturist, Chinese herbalist, holistic health coach, and really what I do is support people in becoming and staying healthy. So that's what I do. I do that in a bunch of different exciting ways. Here is my clinic. I am in Raleigh, North Carolina. So here's my clinic address. It's the Center of Natural Health Specialists, and here in Raleigh. And then also I have an online consulting business. I work with people all over, and that's online holistic medicine. So here's some information there. And today, talking about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, those of you that are on here, I invite you to share this, please. This is a topic I really feel very passionate about, very, very important. This is all about probiotics. Yeah, the most essential supplement and the biggest waste of money. And for those of you that are clients, whether you're watching now or also replay viewers, you know I'm a really big fan of probiotics, but it really is a tremendous waste of money. So really want to share that with you about why that is and about why, for the most part, people are probably buying a bunch of crap that really is a waste of money. All right, so let's get chatting about that. Yeah, so I invite you to share on an iPhone. You can swipe to the right and share. On an Android, you can swipe up and share. So thank you all the live viewers, and hi to all the replay viewers as well. All right, well let's just kind of jump right into it. So yeah, any of you guys know my clients, you know I'm a really big fan of probiotics. Actually, so what are probiotics? There you go. You know what you're talking about. That's a huge one. Let's talk all about that. What are probiotics? Probiotic is bacteria. Pro is meaning living. Okay, so it's living bacteria. And some of you guys have probably heard about probiotics. Certainly a lot of you have heard about antibiotics, which is it's not against bacteria, which is great in the cases where you're like, oh no, I cut my finger, I have an infection, let me take an antibiotic. It's made to kill bacteria, which is great. But probiotics, it's good, it's healthy, digestive bacteria. Actually, the vast majority of our body is bacteria. There's trillions of different cultures of healthy bacteria within our body. And they are so critical to digestive health and to immune function. So the majority of these bacteria live in our digestive system, okay? Which really, if you think about it, the digestive system is kind of a big tube, from your mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and out. It's a big tube. And a lot of that is populated by this healthy probacteria. And that is really critical for digestive function, all right? But 80% of our entire immune system is our digestive function. And if you think about it, that's a tremendous way that we come in contact with our world. Like, of course, we do through touch and through smell, we come in contact with the world. But food, we take food, a chunk of it, and we put it in our body, and we're like, okay, deal with that. And so it's a huge way that we come in contact with the world. So we really need that healthy digestive bacteria that probiotic to help break down that food, make it usable to our system, but also protect our immune system. So that's why it's so critical. Now, so that's what it is. So why is it so important? So here's why. Because I'm working on a book. It is the name of the book is the modern day pathology. Okay, it is. Well, that's actually not the name. It is the anyway. It doesn't matter. But the point is, it's getting worked on, and it is the what is it? It's got a catchy title. It'll come back to me. But anyway, yeah, I know, right? So what it is, I am of a believer that, it's the modern day disease epidemic. Okay, and really I do believe that so much modern day pathology becomes we are surrounded by stuff that kills bacteria. We are bacteriophobic. So we are bombarded by stuff that's killing bacteria. Obviously, the huge one is antibiotics. Okay, that's a tremendous one. Antibiotics. Again, let's say you got a sinus infection or you cut your finger. Well, of course some might be given antibiotics, which of course you take orally. Antibiotics are great because they can help with infection, but it's like an atom bomb going off in your body. And it doesn't discriminate between only killing bad bacteria. Oh, no, my finger. It doesn't say only get the bacteria in your finger. It goes off, of course, in your digestive system, and it just kills all bacteria. All right? So right away, we're just bombarded by stuff that's killing bacteria. Obviously, antibiotics is a tremendous one, but we're not only are antibiotics ridiculously overprescribed. Yes, good Yanix, right? Yeah, it's ridiculously overprescribed, and we take it as medication. But it is now as Yanix here has said, if you're not eating organic food, you are indirectly eating antibiotics. And this is just the facts, but I mean the conditions that most meat comes in, that poultry does, that eggs, the conditions are so bad, animals are shot up with antibiotics because there's a lot of sickness that goes on there. That passes right into the food that you're then eating. So if you're not eating organic animal products, you're getting it that way. So much antibiotics are going into our tap water now. I think they've done tests and find that typically most of us are drinking so much antibiotics just in municipal water supply. There's so much stuff then that other things other than antibiotics that are killing this healthy bacteria. Like a big one is just general pollutants in the world. Real big one is glyphosate. For those of you, glyphosate's a really big factor. For those of you not sure what that is the active ingredient in Roundup. A lot of studies coming out here showing how Roundup or pesticides, which is on pretty much, again, if you're not eating organic, you're eating pesticides. But how so much of that goes into the food, you eat the food, that just kills healthy digestive bacteria. Then there's a whole talk about genetic modification, food that's genetically modified. You're going to read differing things on that. But definitely I've read some studies showing that the genetic modification kills that healthy digestive gut bacteria. Let alone we're surrounded by, this is my clinic, crap like this, which is antibiotics. Everybody's just using this antibacterial stuff, this triclosan, stuff like that kills bacteria. It's just everywhere. I mean, and it's put in the most ridiculous places too. I mean, a lot of this is business. For example, like it's very common nowadays that triclosan or antibiotic material is found inside garden hoses. Why? For what? So now you're watering your plants, and you think you're just watering plants, but really what you're doing is spraying antibiotic stuff on it. So for all these reasons, we are in a world that this healthy digestive and immune bacteria is just continuously being compromised and being killed. And so this is what happens. Okay, this is the modern day disease epidemic. This is why I perceive there's so much disease that is skyrocketing. Autoimmune disorders, it is just skyrocketing. Inflammatory diseases, irritable bowel diseases, food allergies, food sensitivities. It is exponentially rising. I mean, think about it. Like when I was growing up, some of you on here, like who had food allergies? They didn't exist. Yes, absolutely. Keeps people going to the hospital because their immune system's shot. We are in this cycle of sickness. You know, you're eating this bad food, you're getting sick. I mean, there's so much disease that was fibromyalgia, polymyalgia, diabetes is skyrocketing, obesity, all these things really linked to this healthy digestive bacteria. So here, I want to share with you a little bit of the disease process of what happens. So we got, again, you know, those of you that are frequently watching, I am all about balance. Everything is pros and cons. Everything is pro and con. This is the yin and yang symbol. Everything's got pros, everything's got cons. Okay, so we have, hopefully we have healthy bacteria in us, and there, of course, we have some pathogenic bacteria. As long as there's a balance, then it's okay. All right. So this is what happens. You got to get back to the good bacteria. You have to. It's critical. This is so critical for health. So this is why I say that probiotics is the most essential supplement. So this is the disease process that I think really goes on and is impacting so many people, and it's manifesting in so many different types of disease. Well, first of all, we got like this. This is your digestive system. You gotta love this art, right? So here's your digestive. Again, it's a tube. If you think about it, it goes from your mouth and it goes out. It's a tube, geniusly designed that only certain parts of this tube thank you, communicate with other parts. Really, it's amazingly designed. And like all this little circles are like the healthy bacteria. Or, you know, health things that should be there, whether it's like food molecules, proteins, things like that. See, and this guy's so happy and smiling. Oh, I'm so healthy. But now, let's say that you're bombarded by the stuff that's killing bacteria. That right away creates an imbalance of the good bacteria that helps keep all this pathogenic bacteria. Internal yeast is a really big one. Overgrowth of yeast and fungus. But that, whether it's pathogenic bacteria or it's yeast, it's fungus, it's critters, that shows up with all these X's. And it really creates an imbalance in this whole tube, which is a lot of it happens in your small intestine, is a really big place in large intestine. It starts to create an imbalance here. This little guy, I'm so happy now. And you can see here, what that does then, there's a very thin layer. It's a mucosal layer. And we can get into the whole physiology of tight junction and all this stuff, looking at the anatomy and physiology of absorption. But what this does is it starts to really damage and wear away parts of this very thin lining. And again, that lining is so critical because it separates you from your food, from the world. Now, as that process goes on and it really starts to damage that internal lining, what you see happening is this, that the lining starts to become permeable. So whether it's yeast, pathogenic bacteria, critters, whether it's even proteins that start to be, it starts to transport through your intestinal wall, and it goes into your body cavity. I mean, it wears away that lining. Again, you get good bacteria, you start to get an imbalance of overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria, that starts to wear away the lining, and then you start to have stuff that permeates into your body cavity. Yes, so that is what is called leaky gut. Good job, Tacky family. So smart. This is what's called leaky gut. So what happens then is, so you got stuff, and even if it's food, proteins, but if it's absorbed before it should be, let alone yeast, pathogenic bacteria, then it goes into your body, and your immune system is beautifully designed to protect you, to keep you safe. That's what it's designed to do. It's a beautiful work. So what happens is this goes into your body, and your whole immune system's like, what's up? I don't feel quite right. You know, something's not right with me. So in the attempt to keep you safe, it's kind of like, it's like, all right, you know, hey, call up the troops. Everybody stand on guard. We're not quite right. Something's off with us. Maybe there's an invader here. Everybody stand on guard. Call up the troops. You know, and then as this process goes on, your body becomes more and more vigilant, where it's like, something's not right. You know what? Dairy's really hard to digest. Flag that. We don't want that in our body anymore. And that starts to become a food allergy. Gluten. You know, we're having a really difficult time addressing gluten. Flag that. And that becomes a food allergy. Then it goes on, it becomes more and more vigilant. We become more and more sensitive to our environment. That process shows up then in inflammatory processes. You know, where your body's sending signals. It's your immune system sending signals to you like, something's not right. You got to pay attention. I heard this beautiful quote that said, pain and disorders with the body is the body at last having a voice. It is the way that the body speaks to us, is by sending us signals. So what happens is you got all this stuff that's not right. Again, the stuff that permeates into your body. Your body's like, what's the deal? Everybody, we're not right. We got to stay healthy. Quinn's under attack. Call up the troops, stand on guard. And what it does is like this is like your immune system. And I kind of describe this to my clients. It's like it starts building a wall that gets higher and higher and higher. It starts flagging more and more things. It starts sending more and more signals that it's under attack, which shows up in all kinds of ways: digestive disorders, inflammatory disorders, pain, fogginess, autoimmune disorders. I mean, really, it just goes on and on and on because our immune system is now overworking. So this is a really, really frequent disease process that happens all the time. And like I said, to me, it is this process that is, without a doubt, one of the biggest contributing factors to what I call the modern day disease epidemic. This whole host of disorders and diseases that did not exist even 30 years ago. Irritable bowel disease, fibromyalgia, on and on and on. Okay? So that's why probiotics is so, so important. Again, we are bombarded by stuff that is killing bacteria. What are we doing to replace that bacteria? What are we doing to protect ourselves and to reintroduce and repopulate that healthy bacteria? A lot of times, not much. So it's really key that's why I think probiotics is the most essential supplement that really you could take. What the medicine that I do, everything is holistic, meaning it's all individually based on your specific needs. I might have 20 people that come in a room that all have any given disorder, headaches, lupus, asthma. All 20 would be treated completely different because you are different. You're different than the next guy. Your lifestyle, your dietary factors, your hereditary factors, your age, stress levels, what do you think about, how you sleep, all these things are going to impact your body's ability to work. So that's why everyone might be, each client for the same pathology might be treated completely differently, because that's the nature of holistic medicine, looking at you as an individual. As a result of that, it's very rare and almost never that really I have recommendations like everybody should be doing X. But if I did, it would without a doubt be probiotics. And that's really just more a statement on the world that we live in, okay? So that's why it is the first part of this talk. It is without a doubt, to me, the most essential supplement that you can take. Now, part two that's really important is it is also the biggest waste of money. And why is that? That's because the vast majority of probiotics that are available are complete crap. You're wasting your money. Biotic is life, okay? This is living bacteria. It's living bacteria. Vitamin C, a multivitamin, fish oil, stuff like that, it's not living. It's not alive. But bacteria, for it to actually work, it has to be living. Otherwise, you're taking dead bacteria. It doesn't serve you at all. So that's why, honestly, the vast majority of probiotics on the market is dead bacteria. That's number one. For it to work, it has to be viable. It has to be living. And they use very, very tricky wording. And I do believe very intentionally is very misleading to the public, because unless you really know what to look for and you know not what to look for, by the time you end up taking a product, you're taking substandard. If it's viable or living at all, it's going to be very low. The vast majority of it's dead. Let me give you an example. Now this is you go to a store, you look for and it is the number one gastroenterologist recommended probiotic. The number one gastroenterologist recommended probiotic is Align. Okay, and they packaged it really neat. I wish I had one to show you, but it says number one gastroenterologist recommended probiotic, and maybe it is. I'm not disputing that. Now, if if that's the case, it is my opinion that is because of really good marketing and probably not very bright gastroenterologists. This is not a comment on the efficacy and quality of this specific product. Because if you look at the very littlest writing on the box, on the back of the box, very little, and you'll find this true with the vast majority of probiotics too. In fact, if any of you out there have probiotics, read the label, find out what it says. Chances are, in the very smallest writing, it will say this has X amount of bacteria. We'll talk about how much bacteria. This has X amount of bacteria at the time of manufacture. Well, that's great. I mean, that's great that this has, let's just say it has, a line has, if you look at it, it says, the quote, contains 1 billion bacteria when manufactured. Okay? Well, that's great that it contains 1 billion when it's made, but if it's not created right, if it's not shipped right, if it's not sold right, if it's not stored right, that by the time you take it, you're taking dead bacteria. Yep. So I am of the opinion that probiotic companies that can guarantee viability will do so. They will say, we guarantee this product has 1 billion at the time of manufacture. Okay? The vast majority, it doesn't say that at all, the vast majority of probiotics, and I promise you, if you go home, you read your own probiotic, chances are good it says this has X amount of bacteria at the time of manufacture. Very decisive, deceptive and misleading wording. Okay. Now, what this product specifically says, it says it contains 1 billion bacteria when manufactured. It does go on, which is good, and provides an effective level of bacteria until at least the best by date. Okay, so let me read that again. Contains 1 billion bacteria when manufactured, and provides an effective level of bacteria until at least the best by date. Effective level of bacteria to do what? To do what? It's not saying that it has 1 billion by the best date. It says it has an effective level. Effective for what? Very, very, to me, very misleading. Okay. So is this the most recommended probiotic by gastroenterologists? It might be. I think some really good marketing and big companies can make all kinds of stuff happen. But this has very little to do with quality and efficacy. I personally would guide clients to different probiotics. So let's talk. So number one in why probiotics are a waste of money is because the vast majority of them are dead. Okay. Number two is you got to look at how much bacteria does it have. I've seen them on the market that people are like, oh yeah, I'm on a really good probiotic. I'm like, oh great, okay. Well, how much does it have? And you look at the label. Oh, this has 25,000 colony-forming units. So colony CFUs, that's kind of like the bacteria count. 25,000 sounds like a lot, right? 25,000. But just to give you a frame of reference, in my office I carry about 5 different types of probiotic, and the weakest is for infants, and it's 4 billion colony-forming units. Okay, the vast majority of clients start on one that is 30 billion colony-forming units, and for people that have immune disorders or gastroenterological disorders, maybe 100 billion. So you compare 25,000, sounds like a lot, but when you actually understand these levels, 25,000 to 100 billion, it's really a big difference. So again, when you look at this number one doctor recommended probiotic, which is 100 billion, sounds good, right? But very easily, I would, for people that I see in my clinic, I'll have them start on something that is a guaranteed 30 billion. You know, this product that says 100 billion at the time of manufacture and an effective level of bacteria, hell, you might be taking 1 colony-forming unit. Who knows? You know, but without a doubt, even at guaranteed viability, it's still 1 billion. This is 30 times weaker than the one that I would typically recommend to people. So that's another big factor. Number one, again, is it has to be living and it has to be viable. Number two, how much bacteria does it have? Okay, that's a huge one. Another really big one is what strains are in it. Okay, strains vary immensely. Another one is what kind of stuff does it have in it. Some have a prebiotic in it, some don't. And there's going to be different times and places that you want one with a prebiotic. A prebiotic is typically a sugar derivative. A lot of times it comes from apricots or other type of dried fruit derivative. And what it is, again, bacteria lives on sugar. That's like its main food. So it's kind of like you're given healthy bacteria as a probiotic, and a prebiotic you're kind of giving it dinner. The idea is that the probiotic eats the dinner and it populates further, which can be great. However, there's very specific cases too where I will not want to give a prebiotic because somebody might have an overgrowth of whether it be intestinal pathogenic bacteria, overgrowth of yeast, or things like that, which is also going to then feed that too, which then helps that populate as well. So another big one is going to be, how is it cultured? That's a big one. A lot of stuff's cultured from dairy, which can be problematic for those that are really sensitive to dairy. Other ones cultured from humans, cultured a wide variety of different ways. So there's so many reasons that go into making a probiotic something worthwhile taking. And like I said, again, if you know what you're looking for, which that's really the intent of this Periscope. If you know what you're looking for, which hopefully you guys are now armed with the right information on how to find a good probiotic. But if you go to the store and you look at the vast majority of them that are out there, I guarantee you 90% of them are going to be a waste of money, because either it's completely dead bacteria, the efficacy and colony forming units is completely low, substandard, not going to be enough at all. Other things, again, how it's cultured, things like that. So that's why it is also, without a doubt, the biggest waste of money. So a lot of these companies, they know exactly what they're doing. They know that supplements is a really big market right now, and they know that they can put stuff out and make it look good and sound good, but what it's ultimately doing is you're buying completely worthless product. All right, so don't do that. So again, the point of what I want to make here is probiotics is so key. I swear, I promise you that this disease process that I was talking about here of healthy bacteria lining and then bad bacteria overgrowth and how that permeates into the body cavity, this will be well known and well understood in about 20 years. And actually, probably a whole lot sooner, because it is my understanding that one of the big pharmaceutical companies is now working on a leaky gut drug. You bet, as soon as they can come out with a product to sell, that they will create this to become a viable diagnosis. A leaky gut is you ask the vast majority of Western doctors about this, and they'll probably completely poo-poo it. I don't think a lot really understand the disease process in etiology of what happens here. But yeah, for sure, as soon as there's a pharmaceutical for it, it'll become a real thing. So that's kind of a big overview on a really, really important topic to me, because I have been healing people for over 20 years, and the importance of protecting this healthy bacteria cannot be understated, because again, we are in a world that is just continuously killing healthy bacteria. So critical for digestive function, so critical for immune function. And it is that process that gives rise to a huge host of other pathologies. All right. So I have, because there's so much garbage supplements that are out there, is I've put together a website. I invite you to check out my online holistic medicine website, and I have put together a storefront there. And on my storefront is products that I have specifically handpicked that I know are good. A lot of them I take myself, things that I recommend to my clients. But I have on here, there's probably about, I'm guessing at least 4 or 5 different probiotics that I prescribe to my clients and that I take. All right, so again, that's onlineholisticmedicine.com. You'll see right on there is a tab. It's a store. There you can buy probiotics that will guarantee viability and be formulations that I personally really like. All right, so do yourself a tremendous favor. Get on a probiotic. Do one on an ongoing basis, because it's just the world we live in. We really need to protect that healthy digestive bacteria that is so critical for digestive health and immune function. Get on one, take it daily. I take it, my wife takes it, my children take it. They have from really day one. Number one. Number two, you got to make sure you're taking something worthwhile. If you're going to go to the store and just buy something that sounds good, chances are good you're wasting your money. You might as well not take anything at all. You have to take something that's viable, that is a good enough bacteria count for your specific needs. What that is kind of hard to say. That's why I work with clients on a consulting business. Great question. Should they always be refrigerated? Not necessarily. That's a great question, because a lot of people think, well, it's in the refrigerator section, so I know it's good. That is not necessarily the case. Still, you got a lot of companies that they think people think that, so they produce crap and they tell you to put it in the refrigerator. At the same time, one of the probiotics that I use most, it's only a month's supply, and really any product that is decent should have a shelf life, even at ambient temperature, of a month or two. Okay. Now, a lot of times, from research, a lot of better probiotics, they're formulated in a way that a lot of the cells don't start to denature until the temperature goes over about 102, 103, 104. And that's very much true with really if we have fevers too. Really 104, like if you got a fever, you really start to be cautious about how a higher fever starts to damage the cells. But the same is true with bacteria in a probiotic. So one of the products that I do use most, the way it's created, it's only a month supply. So typically, even if you left it out, it should be fine. But also the way it's made, it's enterically coated. The way it's packaged it has blister packed. I mean, all these things that really prolong and guarantee viability. So that's a great example how that's a product that is not necessarily need to be refrigerated, yet to me is one of the best strains, the best guaranteed viability, and best shelf stable product that I like. Now, I do have other products that I use myself also that do need to be refrigerated. A lot of it just depends on kind of how is it made, how is it packaged. In general, ones that are refrigerated can be better, but still, you have to be very discriminating and really understand what you're taking. What's the bacteria count? Are they guaranteeing viability? I mean, that's really key. Any other questions at this time? Hey, Brandy. Hey, thanks for jumping on. You can watch the replay because we're kind of wrapping it up, but I'll give you the overview. Take probiotics. Don't waste your money taking crap. Take one that guarantees viability, and make sure you're taking enough of it. That's a whole big, that's a whole big overview. I swear, again, you give it about 20 years, and what I'm saying here is going to be very commonplace. And I cannot stress enough, I have worked with thousands and thousands of clients, and the importance of replacing this bacteria cannot be understated. I do believe it is really this, and I've said it a couple times already, it's just because I'm very passionate about it. The importance of protecting yourself in this way will do wonders in protecting you from a whole host of modern day pathology that's around and out there. Okay? Food sensitivities, food allergies, environmental allergies, multiple chemical sensitivities, inflammatory diseases, irritable bowel disorder, diverticulosis, all autoimmune problems. It really can't be understated enough. Is it better before bed or in the morning? Good question. Kind of depends on your intent behind it. Probiotics is actually found to support people with insomnia as well. So clients that do have problems sleeping, I will encourage them to take sometimes at night. Another question that somebody had that kind of goes along with this, this is such a really, really big and important topic. Somebody asked, well, should I take it with food or should I take it without food? Again, kind of depends on how it's made. One of the big problems with probiotics is a lot of times it won't make it through the stomach acid. Stomach acid is a beast. The hydrochloric acid in there is designed to just rip stuff apart. So a lot of probiotics, based on how they're made, a lot of them may die in the stomach acid. In which case, in a lot of cases, eating it with food can be better. Now, again, those probiotics that I was just talking about earlier, the ones that are blister packed, they're also enterically coated, which helps to ensure it's traveling, getting through the stomach acid, and actually getting into your small and large intestine where it's really needed. So for that's another big reason why I have selected that specific product that's available at my online store. But that's a great question too. In generally, I encourage people to do it with food, but again, it kind of depends on when it's made. It depends on, again, looking at it from a holistic point of view about what are you taking it, what are your goals, other things that you might have going on. But great, couple of really great questions. Any other questions that I can answer for you on this topic? Anybody? So this is, well, obviously this is a topic that I am passionate about, that I do feel strongly about. I do invite you to share this topic. How long do you think it generally takes to heal, takes a gut to heal? A question on there, how long does it take for a gut to heal? Great question. It depends on how messed up it is. Depends on your diet. That's huge. You know, in my clinic, one of the very first things I have in looking at health is stop doing the stuff that's jacking with you. That's number one. That's number one. You know, you could take the best probiotics in the world. I could give you the best acupuncture, the best Chinese herbal formulas, really powerful supplements. But if you're still eating bad, if you're still eating stuff that's messing with you, the problem's just going to persist. It's going to go on and on. You know, I can't tell you. You know, like some people, they take antibiotics on an ongoing basis, like daily. I've worked with some people, for example, like models, and like they because you know they need their skin to be looking certain ways all the time. They've been on long-term years of antibiotics. I see a lot of people that have been treated with acne, long-term antibiotics. I mean, that's huge. People with gut disorders, you know, their doctor just puts them on antibiotics on an ongoing basis. Years and years of just having devastating effects on this healthy bacteria. I mean, that's pretty serious to come back from, and it can be done. But I mean, that's really different than somebody that like, you know, I had a cold, I took antibiotics. You know, really different if somebody's eating clean and organic, or if you're eating a bunch of conventional food. A huge problem is sugar. Sugar grows, you know, bacteria, pathogenic bacteria and yeast. It loves sugar. If you look at our modern day diet, that we're bombarded by crap that kills healthy bacteria, and then we have these diets that are just so sugar rich. We're eating this nasty processed food, drinking this soda, and what you're doing is you're just creating the perfect storm to have overgrowth of pathogenic bacteria of yeast. You kill this bacteria, you eat crap, and you got a perfect remedy for problems. And that's what we're experiencing today. That's why so many people are obese. We have so much metabolic disorder. This all plays a role into it. So, sorry, this all goes back to how long does it take to heal a gut? Exactly. Yeah, no soft drinks. No. How long does it take to heal a gut depends on so many factors. And again, so many people ask me questions. You know, I joke. Pretty much any question you ever ask me about health is I have one answer, and it depends. Because honestly, it does. It depends on you. It depends on your diet, your lifestyle, your stress levels, how's your adrenal function working. It depends on hereditary factors. It depends on your activity level, how you sleep, and what do you think about. All these things really are going to play a key role in it, but in your overall picture of health. But for sure, when we come down to gut health, so much of it's what you're putting in your body. What are you eating? What are you putting in your body? And truly, how are you supplementing with probiotics? You could probably pretty much say that in any given scenario, you want to dramatically improve digestive health, and you want to improve immune function, clean up the diet, get rid of crap, eat clean, primarily organic food. You take a probiotic, that will do wonders, I guarantee it, at protecting virtually every system in your body, your digestive system, your immune system, which then in turn will help to decrease reactivity, inflammation, honestly, almost everything. For real. I mean, those few things, you can make dramatic changes. Those are things I do pretty much every day with almost every client. Like I said, I don't have blanket statements that I'm like, everybody needs to be doing this all the time. But if I did, and it's just because of the world that we live in, probiotic, number one. Okay, for sure, number two, clean up your diet. Stop eating crap. You can't feel good if you don't eat good. And that's pretty much easy it is. I've done several different periscopes. I invite you to check out in the past on food, on nutrition, on foods not to eat, on foods to eat. So that'll certainly give you a fill it all in a little bit more for you. All right. Okay, so I know it's a big topic. Again, I could talk, and there's so many layers that go on and on to this about digestion, about immune system, about probiotics and supplements. We could talk about this forever. And this is really, again, the area obviously I'm very passionate about. I feel very strongly about. I please invite you to share this with people. Fill them in. Some really easy changes that people can make right away to dramatically improve their current state of health. All right. Boy, all right, big topic. I love it. What we talked about today, this has been probiotics, the most essential supplement and the biggest waste of money. I invite you, I have some other talks that are coming up here, some fun ones I invite you to join me for. I think my next one I got coming up here is on Wednesday, July 20th in the morning, okay, 8:30. I haven't done a morning talk too much because I like to make sure people on the West Coast can join in too. But this would be a great one. One word to remove from your vocabulary to change your life. One word to remove from your vocabulary to change your life. I invite you to join me for that. Have a topic on acupuncture coming up on Tuesday, August 2nd at 2 p.m. And a lot of people, acupuncture is such a powerful and amazing tool. A lot of people have heard about it. They don't really understand it or know what it does. Please join me and allow me to explain that to you. All right? All right, so again, my name is Quinn Takei. I am your online holistic health and medicine consultant. I invite you to join me and get some more information at the places that I can be found online. My first one is my clinic. This is the Center Natural Health Specialist. And then you can also find me online at Online Holistic Medicine, where I have the opportunity to work with people regardless of where they are in the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much. Thank you very much for joining me. Yay! I'll see you soon. This has been Probiotics, you guys. Thanks, Yannix. I appreciate your input, by the way, too. And, obviously seems like you know what you're talking about. Keep up the good work. Spread the good word. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, all right?